for those of you who have objects in the cardinal signs, you are watching Allastrology. My name is G. We're going to take a look at the week of January 6th. So that's January 6th and the following 7 days. So let's get the chart up on the screen and see what we can see. Welcome in the new year. Happy 2025. You see grand trine energy, multiple grand trines. And so this is not only this day, this energy pretty much carries us through this week. And you even see we have what they call a mini kite. I have that in this light purple color is a mini kite. Okay. So without going too much into the nitty gritty, they're both in air, by the way. They're both in air. So first one is happening around 11, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 10, 11, 12 degrees. We've got Aquarius energy there, really strong. The two Venuses, Sapphos are there. So this is different and new and exciting. It is power. It's alternative forms of power. It can be group energy and friends. Okay. And the public is part of this too, in a way, and feminine energy for sure, because of the Sapphos and Cirrus. How I feel nurtured, food and emotional security, financial security. But this is sort of Uranus energy is known to be, it stands out. It stands out from the crowd. It's all about how I uniquely stand out. What is it me that makes me me? Right? When there's a lot of energy in Aquarius, we normally feel this power of individualism. All right. I call it individuation, right? Where we suddenly feel really comfortable in our own skin. We know we're not the same. We know that I am different for this reason. We know that you're different from me for this reason, but we don't kick down at each other. We don't strike out at each other because of the differences. We are more about, well, yeah, these are my friends and we're different. We're unique. We have different ideas, right? We've got things that maybe haven't been done before or discussed. And it might seem like we are bucking tradition because that's Aquarius energy. It kind of goes against the grain of tradition. Okay. So there's something here where we call people a little rebelliousness, possibly. So there's something very different, very fresh, very exciting with this power in Aquarius energy. All right. Again, this would be unions as well, because it's about the power to the group. Okay. This is social services, social causes. This is the humanitarian. It's really altruistic energy. I love Aquarius energy in that way. Right. It's great when it comes to stuff like that. It's just not real good one-on-one, personal, private kind of energy because it's a little bit more detached, which, when you're dealing with things that are new and different and have never been done before, it's hard to go where no man has gone before when you've got emotional ties and bonds that are holding you, right? Like you won't be daring to go to the edge of where no one's ever been before if you feel like you've got too much to lose type of thing. So this energy, although it's exciting, there can be glimpses of it, whispers of it, where we feel frightened because this represents the unknown. And we know how humans are, right? So when we back that up, and there again, that's what did I say? 10, 11, 12 degrees. So if you've got something, right, at 9, 10, 11, 12, even 13, because there's a lot here at 11 and 12. We even have Cheroklo at 15. So technically, this is a lot right here in that second decan, right? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's a lot here about uniqueness and differences and social causes and power to individuals, right? Especially since Pluto is here, the big arrow. Pluto is here. And Pluto is about power, and it is about changing individual power, changing the group energy. It would be power also to group energy, so power to unions, but authoritarians, all right? Remember, when Pluto first got here a couple of years ago and went retrograde, it's gone back and forth multiple times. We saw the rise of authoritarians globally. Like the rhetoric, the conversations, the talk, the speeches of words that were alarming, right? Red flags going up all over the place, or whatever color flags you want to call them, but flags going up where it was like, holy shit, this is dangerous. To even tiptoe around these kinds of words is dangerous, because history has showed us, scary paths that's taken, and the lives that were lost. So the Pluto energy can come in, and while empowering group energy, while giving people the power, it can also give individuals power. So then the other part of it lines up down here with Libra in partnerships, significant one-on-one relationships. Now remember, this trine stays strong the whole week long. And I've got I've got a new asteroid. I can't remember if I did it on the last video, because sometimes it's days before I can record another video. But there's a new symbol. It's not really new for astrology, but it might be new for us here on this channel. And it's called grieve, as in grievances, as in I'm grieving, grieve. That's the symbol. It's an upside down arrow. It's not the same. There's some other arrows, right? But this symbol is right here so that you can see it. I already have that line drawn because I created this chart a few days ago, but it's at 5 degrees in Libra. This is important. 5 degrees in Libra is really important. That degree, that is the Leo degree. Okay. That's the Leo degree. And sometimes when we lose, the difference is, are we going to be a good sport about it? Are we going to be a bad sport? Because Leo energy likes to play games, right? It can be comedians, and sometimes that can go wrong real quick, right? But that's 5 degrees, playing games, having fun, acting like a child, being a kid again. Okay? There's a place for that. The problem is when it gets mixed in with people who, whether they're promoting another human being, whether it's for campaigns, whether, a political figure, even someone who is a Hollywood type person, an athlete, people who are public figures. So when people are public figures and they say, when you have that sort of limelight and spotlight, you have a certain amount of duty and responsibility to set an example. That's just the way it is. Those that have a duty and a responsibility. And that's that money, that power, that fame. And what are you going to do with it? Right? It's not just about the money, right? But maybe some folks haven't figured that out quite yet. Yeah. So the 5 degrees in partnerships, professional partnerships, business partnerships, sports, probably sports figures, and then the dream and the fantasy being involved here, because sometimes Neptune can get involved in a little bit of idealistic, unrealistic energy within partnerships, professional partnerships, corporations, but people in Congress, people who are supposed to be able to debate, write laws and debate, lawyer energy. Yeah. The justice system, there's a whole lot of that going on here. And the grieve. Remember, that symbol represents someone's grieving. I'm grieving, right? Is the party over? Is the dream, is the bubble bursted? Has it all come tumbling down? Right? We're probably going to hear more about this later on. But this, again, is for the whole week. And then the other part of that trine, we have a lot here, actually. Aldebaran is at 10 degrees. This is Gemini, communications, business, the markets, real estate, stock market, social media. We think of different social media personalities, public figures who have a lot to do with space and technology and the combination. And there's just, there's too many weaving of energies, I think, together, and it's become very convoluted. We can't tell the difference of one from another. So Aldebaran is sitting here at 10, Jupiter's at 12. Grand air trine energy for this entire week. So that's communication and business, trade, networking, global networking, partnerships, okay? Um, Along with that energy and at those degrees, all you want to do is jot down, if you've got something at those degrees, what is it that you have? Remember, we're going from 9 all the way to like 16, 17 degrees. That's a big super trine energy because there's stuff in each sign that stretches all the way. You see, 15 to 17, even to 21 here. There's just a lot here. So, partnerships and the mind and the way I think and communicate and learn and share information. Remember, Gemini is the real estate. So, that we think the housing market. So, the interest rates, the Fed, and all that kind of energy. Um, yeah, when our house price is going to go down when we have inventory, right? Until we have inventory, enough inventory for people to purchase. Right. It's the old law of supply and demand. So that's that strong energy for this week. Partnerships, new, different, exciting communication, networking, learning, possibly school kind of energy, because that's Gemini energy too, right? Now, we then go to the Mercury energy because Mercury is all that Gemini I just showed you. Well, Mercury is going to be at the very beginning of this week. Mercury's sitting there with the galactic center. I kind of go deep dive on that in the other video, so I'm only going to mention it real shortly here. This galactic center and Mercury at 27, the justice system, Supreme Court, news, plain and simple news, public figures, rulings, because Sagittarius is all about the belief system. It's all about freedom and the judicial system and when will justice be served. That's Sagittarius. And Sagittarius ideally does love freedoms, but it also believes like in a code of ethics because it's religion and spirituality, and that's what I love about spirituality is I don't have to follow your religion. You don't have to follow my religion. So what happens is we started off on the 6th, 7th and 8th, Mercury moves into Capricorn. Now this Mercury and the news and the information into Capricorn, Capricorn's serious. The news cycle will slow down. We can finally take a breath. Now things are more orderly because Capricorn's like we're here to build for the long term and organize and structure. And we build upon the tried, the true, and the tested. Okay. We want to build our way forward. It's mature energy. It isn't little kids in the room. It's not the fiery energy of, oh, exciting, who yells the loudest, who screams the loudest, who repeats whatever words the loudest, who cracks the most jokes, who kicks down the best at somebody else. This isn't that energy. This is mom and dad energy, like old school mom and dad energy, which was like, shut your ass up, sit down. And if you didn't do that, what happened? Right? Right. Don't got to go any further. This energy does not play games, right? It says, this is Simon Says, this is how this works. Go back to the beginning because you didn't do as you were asked. There's no cheating. There's no shortcuts. This is recognition. This is rewards. This is rewards for working at something by the rules for a long period of time, by piecemeal, step by step. And so Mercury in Capricorn, more mature energy, and it rules time. It slows things down. And things may be definitely more serious, even to the degree where they might possibly feel a little bit heavier because it's Capricorn. By the end of the week, Mercury will get to 7 degrees of Cappy, just to 7. Okay. Now we go to Venus and Saturn for this week. Venus and Saturn are over here in Pisces. Okay. Venus starts off at 3 in the news, right? So Venus is feminine energy. Okay. Feminine energy, women, values, money. We think of course, the Fed and interest rates, and we're like, what's going on? It's the beginning of the year. There's going to be different people in Congress. So we kind of have to just wait and see. Mercury slows things down, right? Mercury now in Cappy, this is, thinking about the long-term gain. That's what Capricorn does. It's really good at saying, well, I know how it might look right now, but our eye is on the long-term success. We can't go off of just, one or two things. We want to see that where we're at is working. And I have a feeling, that that might be the case because anytime Venus gets next to Saturn, that's what happens. Saturn, remember, rules time, and Saturn can slow things down. So Saturn and Pisces is institutional energy, and the Fed in itself is all of its own institution. It doesn't work for the government, but it is a tool for the government. Okay, and so money and finances, Venus getting next to Saturn starting next week. Then we get to the 11th and the 12th. All right. But before we jump onto that, we got to kind of take a quick peek at Mars. Mars isn't moving fast. We've got Mars, an arrow for Mars down here. And Mars is at 29 to start the week off, but it only moves back to 27. 2 degrees, that's all Mars moves this week. So it's hovering between 29 and 27 of Cancer. This can be stress and tension. The same stress and tension we felt. Think of the end of October. Remember the last 2 days of October, right? October, November 1st, November 2nd, November 3rd, November 4th. Mars was sitting, it went from 28 to 29 degrees during that time. Okay. So it's going to go from 29 to 27. So you could even say the last week of October then, because that's where Mars would have been. So this energy, for those of you who have objects in the cardinal signs, specifically cardinal sign of Aries, Aries at 29, 28, 27, Mars is going to be squaring that stress and tension. And the same with Libra energy. 29, 28, 27, Mars will be angling that as a square. So they're literally squaring each other for the beginning, just the first few days of this week. But it can make it pretty uncomfortable, especially January 6th. It can make it uncomfortable because there's that strong square that's there. Not to mention that, well, the nodes are at a critical 0 degree on that at that time too. But that then takes me to the nodes themselves. Again, there's a separate video, but depending upon where you live in the world, January 11th, January 12th, we've got the moon's nodes changing signs. All right, the north and the south node. The north node will be in Pisces. Okay, so think of all the Pisces keywords: dreams, fantasy, my spirituality, my beliefs, my rose colored glasses. Have I figured out when they're on and when they're off? Do I see the difference? Do I see how I operate differently when I'm looking at something with my rose colored glasses on? Meaning, am I delusioned? Right? Am I seeing only what I want to see? Am I believing only that which I want to believe? Do I refuse to believe anything or to hear anything else, especially the details that could the details that make me uncomfortable because they don't align. They would go against my beliefs and because they actually challenge what I believe. So the North Node in Pisces, right? I don't think it's a coincidence that Saturn is still in Pisces. I think Saturn in Pisces was brilliant. It showed a lot of folks, a lot of things with public figures and opened people's eyes to stuff that was there to basically use us as pawns in manipulation, especially for when it's election time, right? Because it can be foreign actors, it can be people who are there just to manipulate and put on a display and to show. Because it's Pisces, I'm the theater. I'm there to put on a performance for you. These can be anybody who's trying to persuade you. That's what an actor does. They want to persuade you. So North Node in Pisces, the future of acting, because the North Node represents where we're headed. Then we are at the same time, we're going to have the South Node going into Virgo. Virgo. Whew, this brings in the details. The South Node represents something we already know how to do really well. We're really good at being nitpicky. We're really good at pointing out how something can be better. We're really good at saying, that sucks. This is how it can be improved. Here's the details. Here's the receipts. Here's the data. So this energy is always working in a very delicate dance because the South Node means we've kind of already gotten our degree at this. We're really freaking good at tearing each other down and giving the reasons why. The North Node is more of a concentration of the whole picture, meaning here I am with my flaws, here I am with my beliefs, even though they're not your beliefs. Here I am with my rose-colored glasses on, but how do we go forward? How do we go forward? Because at the end of the day, the North Node in Pisces says we want unity and togetherness and oneness, and we want to see all things are one. Like that's the North Node in Pisces energy, okay? That then takes us to the 13th. And before we get to the 13th, because we're going to have a full moon, before we get there, I want to make a quick mention to Hera. I don't know if you know about Hera. She's also important. I mentioned Grieve over there at 5 degrees in Libra, very important energy. Hera is equally important. Hera is sitting here conjunct. Look at this. She's retrograding. She moves faster than Uranus, and she's retrograding. So shocks and surprises, Uranus energy. Who's Hera, right? Hera, feminine energy. Hera is similar to Juno because it's about relationships, but it's really about partnerships. Okay. Rights and fairness, feminine energy. This is the Greek goddess of marriage and childbirth. Hello? Right. Fairness between partners, relationship dynamics, concerns over inequality in relationships. It's all about the right, my right? Not right as in, look at them, they're on the right. No, it's my rights. I am equal to you, right? It's kind of like a balance sheet in relationships. Hera, very powerful energy, goddess, feminine energy, women in childbirth, conjunct Uranus and Taurus values, right? So that 23, 24 degrees is part of the baby kite energy. Maybe baby kite or baby trine. I can't remember what I called it, but if I called it a baby kite, I apologize. Baby trine, right? Because it's not a grand air trine or water trine or earth trine, but it is a baby trine because there's multiple objects here that are at similar degrees, right? 23, 24, 25. It's a sextile to Neptune and Uranus and Pluto midpoint. I don't think you can see it there, but it's right there buried. So there, again, Uranus comes up with change, transformation, sudden changes, but the transformation, the shocks and the surprise, group energy is going to bring deep changes. Okay. So Pisces, unity, oneness, political figure, public figure, something that's never been done before, Uranus energy. All right. Very different. And it just brings on more power when it has a Capricorn point at 26 degrees. 26 degrees. This is not an asteroid. PRA. Okay, that's the point of praise. I think I was saying practicality, but it's praise and acceptance is what that is. And that's a Arabic lot, so it moves really fast. What that brings about is earthy energy, money, values, an authority figure, possibly the interest rates, right? The authority figure in charge of raising, Jerome Powell. Then you have a public figure, right? Because it's Pisces energy. And then you have Capricorn energy, that point of praise, 26 degrees, right? In Capricorn. And that's government and business, but establishing long-term material, tangible security. Now, the 13th brings up, this takes us like Saturday, Sunday, Monday. This takes us into a full moon. Separate video already up for this, right? Full moon in Cancer energy. All right. Full moon in Cancer. Full moon's on January 13th. It's at 23 degrees. And it's a big deal because it's a full moon in Cancer. It's already a moon event. And whenever we have a full moon, we ask, well, what sign is the moon going to be in? Because then that's the sign that rules the event, right? Well, if it's in Cancer, the moon rules Cancer. So the moon rules this event in another way, which makes it an even bigger deal. So just think moon, think people, feminine energy, family, emotional security. Think the public. You can also think homes and housing for the public, right? Cancer energy. So that will be for Monday because there is so much in terms of different and unconventional and new and shocks and surprises. I think any smart astrologer would say, we'll just have to wait and see. Because even though astrology lets us know what the weather is, what the astrological weather is, I still get to choose whether to put on my boots or my raincoat or wear an umbrella or not. Just because it's snowing out, I can't say for certain. It was snowing out. They had on snow boots. They had on snow gloves. They went sledding. I can't say that, can I? No. You could have decided to stay your ass in the house and then not even go out in the weather, right? Exactly. So you always got to remember free will is a big deal. And with Aquarius energy, it's the opposition to free will. At the opposite of Aquarius is Leo energy. And this is the playing of games. This is children. It's, I want to have fun and laugh. And it's just all a big game to me, even though I might, whatever it is that's going on, I find a way to make fun of it or to have fun with it and to feel like I'm the center of attention and I'm on a stage because that's Leo. It's ultimately like the performer energy. So with that is the sun. The sun rules Leo. And that matters because it's the sun that is the big burst of our individuality shining out and the willpower that flows from who we are, from our very being. So the willpower and your free will is the Leo energy. Now, because Mars is in Cancer at this time and it's going backwards, remember, Mars is retrograding. It's got to go back to 17. So even though the election's already done and over with, there is still a Leo story going on for sure. There's still a lot behind the scenes in terms of Jupiter in Gemini, the Supreme Court, court cases, energy for this week to just to basically say we just kind of should be smart and be prepared for there might be things that we possibly didn't expect. But it's almost like by now, and at least for us here anyway, I feel like now we're like nothing even surprises us anymore. And I think that's also kind of when shit gets scary, where nothing surprises you anymore, right? So other than that, the nodes and those grand trines that stay for this whole week are the big story. So communication and talking, global networking, business partnerships, the stock market, news, social media, right? This is the story. But the news changing in some way, and rules and restrictions, and like that's what the rules are for, because it's Mercury in Capricorn. Capricorn doesn't play around. It says, okay, enough shenanigans. These are the rules. So that's a wrap. All right. I will see you guys. See you in the next one. Take care. Remember, I'm slurring. I always appreciate your time. Bye-bye.